Before moving to Rhode Island in 1995, our next speaker was project manager for an electrical contractor and assistant treasurer of the Political Action Committee for a Fortune 50 defense contractor. In 1996, she went back to school at the University of Rhode Island and earned her bachelor's degree in accounting and finance. Now known as the fabulous flying CPA, she spends her spare time singing in the choir at St. Andrew's Lutheran Church and the chorus of Westerly, among many other things. Speaking to us tonight about animal rescue and its importance, please join me in welcoming Kristy Armstrong.
Myself. I was born in the Booth Home for Unwed Mothers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and when my parents brought me home, my father was a pilot. Well, he was a former pilot. He worked for the airline, and my mother was a homemaker. So when they brought me home, I had a big brother, and his name was Clyde. Clyde did not like having me around at first because he was a little jealous, but then he realized that I dropped food on the floor. And he ended up being my very best friend in the whole wide world. Clyde did everything with me because I was an only child. He let me do a lot of things to him that a lot of dogs wouldn't let me do. My dad passed away when I was 7, so Clyde became even more important in my life. And I just can't imagine life without him. I've always had St. Bernards. This is Kramer. He's my current dog. And he's 11. I'm hoping since we built him a handicap ramp that he's going to make it to at least 13 or 14, which is old for a St. Bernard. 6 years ago, I have no business looking at puppies on the internet because I already had 3 dogs at the time. And I saw the cutest face, and I read his story, and it said that his owner down south did not want the puppies that came from his schnauzer, and he was going to drown them. So I'm like, oh my God, I'll take him, look at that face. How can you resist that? So now I have Wilson, and then my friend called about a few months later and said, I'm getting puppies. I'm going to be a foster mommy. So guess who ended up with 6 at their house? And that's pretty much how I started in rescue. And then I became a pilot about 10 years ago to learn more about my dad, since he wasn't around. And I found this group called Pilots and Paws. So now I volunteer for them, and we rescue dogs from high-kill shelters down south and bring them up north. These are some of the dogs that I've flown and rescued. The English setters they had to be puppy mill mommies, and they were so emaciated, but I just imagine them living this wonderful life by a fire. And this is Shelby, and she is another rescue fail. She ended up at my house. Well, you're driving them, flying them around, and it's like, oh, but there's no place for them to go. I'll bring them home. The reason dogs end up in shelters is because of several reasons. One is, sorry, I'm a little nervous. One is because people don't spay and neuter their pets. And they end up with puppies they don't know what to do with, so they take them to the shelter. Not all dogs get adopted. 6 to 8 million cats and dogs end up in shelters every year. 3 to 4 million are euthanized. That's 1 every 11 seconds. When dogs end up in shelters, they're pack animals, so they get depressed. And dogs, like, if you go to the shelter and you see one like that, you're going to be like, I'll go to the next one. Don't pass these guys by, because they end up being wonderful dogs. This is Nico, and before and after, and just, look at him. How could you not, you look at him like that and they think, no, but take him home, give him a try. Another reason dogs end up in shelters is because of puppy mills. When you buy a pet from a pet store, it's probably coming from a puppy mill, and this is what their parents look like. The parents of these dogs live in a terrible condition, and a lot of times when you adopt these dogs, they have a lot of health conditions. So not only are the parents in bad shape, but the puppies end up back in rescue because people can't afford to take care of the health conditions of the dogs. So the conditions for the parents are terrible. They're kept in crates. all of their life. They live in their own feces. They have poor nutrition, no vet care. So if I have an impression on you not to buy dogs from pet stores, I hope this does, because we're not listening to Sarah McLachlan yet, but it's bad. So when you bring home a rescue dog, you're not only saving their life, you're saving your own, because they become your best friend. I get so much joy from my dogs, every single one of them. And it just breaks my heart that they're all in these shelters. And if you already have a dog, it needs a friend. So, when you save one dog's life, you can't save them all. I certainly can. I wish I could. I'd have a big farm and have them all there. But hopefully you guys can help me do this, because they really deserve our love and care.